All right, what's up, guys? Hopefully, everybody had a great weekend. Hopefully, everybody had a green week, right? At least we hope for the best, right? And we work hard to get to where we're at. So, today, what I want to do is break down a couple tickers for the week that some of you um, may want to have a trend reversal, may have a accumulation phase, a staircase pattern, a breakout, a squeeze, anything of that nature that we may look into. And there's actually tons of lot of different setups all across the board. So we got to be picky, and we got to be able to grab the best risk to reward play that we potentially can. And my main focus is always to try to do a swing trade based on the type of setup that we have. And each one, of course, is going to be different. And you must trail every single position. If you can't trail a position, then I just recommend taking it for the day trade, no matter what it is, with some of the levels that are provided, of course, and you doing your own due diligence. Okay. So, keep in mind also, same thing we go through every week. This market is just making all-time highs, and it's not really stopping. Okay. We are experiencing some heavy pullbacks and some volatility here and there, but the overall trend is just nice and bullish. Okay. This is the actual pullback last week that was a little more questionable, that had a little more structure. Okay, had more structure than this downtrend, this one and this one. So I just went back and compared the difference between the structures, and then now we actually have decent structure in the market. What I mean by that is that even with the volatility that came in, there is still a nice structure, a nice staircase pattern to the downside, and then that staircase pattern breaking to the top side. On top of that, we have this nice little range here, which you have your supply and you have your demand. And we ended up breaking right below demand, but came back shooting right back inside. So which created this to be a little more on the bullish side, and then the proper retest with the break of the trend line, with the break of demand supply, and then we continue to the top. Okay, so this is actually a very nice structure, nice good volume. Again, like I said, there was a lot of volatility last week. Some with the Feds, and there was some Afghanistan thing going on, and inflation, and vaccine news, and all kinds of stuff. So it was a little more questionable. But when you zoom out and you look at the bigger picture, we're still on a bullish trend, and there's really nothing that's going to drop us just yet. Okay. But we do experience these aggressive pullbacks, and that's something that we must take note of. Even for myself, I was a little more cautious on the bullish side versus the put side. And I was playing puts for like a day or two, just because the trend was with us. When that changed, we automatically reversed to calls, and that's what we do. We adjust with the market until the trend changes on us. If it's bearish, we stay bearish until that changes. Then you keep following the trend. Okay. So market is healthy. Market's making some all-time highs. We're on ES. We're almost close to that 45, that 4,500 level, and I think that that's a level that we can potentially hit pretty soon. Just with the way that the market is moving, after that 45, you want to look for that 46 to 47, 48, 49, and then you want to look for that 5K number, right? I'm not saying we can get there in the next few days, but just in general, a psychological thing that naturally, traders out there want to think is that that can potentially happen. I know everybody's saying that this is the month where things are going to go down, and we're expecting some correction and all this stuff, but in reality, you guys take a quick look at this longer time frame, and we're kind of bullish still. Okay, so call it what you want, call it a pullback, call it a correction, call it a huge sell-off. Until this trend changes, I am still bullish in the market, and I am still looking for buying the dip. I'm still looking for accumulation, and public distribution, and just playing the trend. So please keep in mind, guys, don't start thinking we have to correct, or don't think we have to burn down. because the overall picture is still bullish, guys. All right. So with that said, we do have the market being healthy. We have the NQ tech kind of just staying in this range, which is okay. It's still showing a lot of strength. And same thing, like I said, with ES, this actually showed a nice little pattern to the downside, but then it changed here on Friday, and then we just kind of went back, right? The only one that I am concerned of is RTY, which is the small caps. On the small caps, this has been for a long time, this has been a bullish area because of the wicks, and we just stayed up top, and then finally we're just kind of trending down here at this bottom, which kind of tells me that we're a little weak, but we're still trying to find some balance and value on the small cap sector. So look out for that. Okay, I think the 21 psychological number right here, that psychological, it's not a straight line, guys, but you get it. The 21, we want to set alerts there. We don't want it to go below 21. If we do, we might see more downtrend, but it is at a support, and there are still buyers here just based on these wicks. And I'm definitely have a lot of alerts going to the top. And some of the sectors that can help you identify if there's going to be bulls in these small caps, you look at financials and you look for airlines. Go look at the ticker plug and run. Okay, PLUGRUN. Okay, plug and run. So look out for that. All right, guys. All right. Well, let's get into some tickers and just see that we are currently uptrending. For Apple, it's not much of a. I'm not going to put this on the watch list, but do be aware that anything over 150 is bullish. Anything below 150, you're kind of questionable and looking for a pattern. Give me a reason to break to the top side and continue pushing up with the market. So just for the 150, guys, don't think that this is resistance here, that 150, 170, because technically we haven't hit that number multiple times. And technically we haven't created a supply. A supply is created within multiple candle bodies on the hour time frame, the 4-hour time frame, the daily time frame, multiple candle bodies. That's what you would be looking for. But since it only hit once or twice, it's not really a supply. It's just a minor resistance, but it doesn't have strength. Something that will have strength is something that's hit multiple times. For example, this piece here, okay, it hit multiple times. So what did we naturally do when we hit it? Right here, we got smacked down all the way back here. Here, again, we got that smackdown. We tried to consolidate right below it, but then got smacked down and then got bought up, showing a lot more strength to the top side. And that's what you want to look for. So you just want to look for that 150 to continue up, and then the 150 on the bottom side. Just wait for a pattern to build. If not, just start a position down here, anywhere in these levels of 146 to 145.40, or just 145 and 146. That's the level where you can start loading up on some calls and then take it to the long side. But just a side note for the resistance, don't think that this is going to be strong. It doesn't have enough strength yet. Okay, first ticker that I'm going to have on the watch list for this week is going to be ARK. And I'm assuming you guys all know because I did already post SPOT and Z, and we're going to talk about those in a few. So ARK, this support right here, it's already hit 3 times, and it's already built a couple candles here. This is what I'm saying about earlier about Apple, right? When you see a support or resistance hit a couple times, you want candle bodies to build. In this case, that's why I put this yellow box, because we have multiple candle bodies down here. Even on the pre-market, it showed. So basically almost looking like a double bottom playing out here, and then showing a nice little base. Okay, and this is what you can call a nice support that has strength. Every time we hit this level, this 113 area, we ended up snapping right back to this 123. From here, we made this high of 132, which is awesome. So now we're kind of looking at the same thing. Remember, price action. Price action is something that has happened in the past, okay? Will happen in the future, happen in the future, happen in the past again. It's going to happen in the future. So we tend to look at that, and that's your simple price action where you don't have to wait for any type of confirmation. You get in when those levels hit, and you get some time on your contracts, and you trail it on the way up. So technically, if you would have bought this, if you would have seen this a couple of maybe Thursday or Friday, you could have taken a green position on this and rode it back up. What we're going to look for ARK right here is we're going to look for the break of this 116. Okay, I'm using the psychological number, even though the entry is around 115.80. I want to start it around 116. I don't know what it's going to look like pre-market, but I definitely want to know that over 115.80 and 116, I am going long. My first target is going to be right here, 117.30. Next target, I'm going to use this wick as 118. Next target, 118.80, and then 119, and then I'm looking for the 120, okay? Why the 120? Because that's where a lot of the structure is at. Right here, that was support, and at the 120, we went as high as 126. So I'm looking for this move in the next few days. If not, if it doesn't get that high, I think that's okay. As long as we can stay in these levels and just hold anywhere inside here, I'll be okay and looking bullish, because I want a consolidation to happen, an accumulation phase to take place here at something that is at support, okay? So look for that for ARK. Now, spot is the other one that I want to look at. It's been downtrending, it's still downtrending on a bigger time frame. So even with or without that trend line, we are still coming down. As you can see, down, we build a base, come down, we try to go up, build a base, push up, and get rejected, and then build this staircase pattern to the downside. So based on this 4 hour time frame, you're looking here, and it looks like we broke to the upside on the 4 hour on Friday. And the awesome thing about it is that I always say that you look for an excuse when you're looking for a swing trade or for something to reverse or for something to break. You want, first and foremost, a pattern. Second, maybe some good volume. Third, a potential catalyst that can drive it and give it the excuse to pop, okay? So you want to look for those three things, and those three things can cause a nice breakout of a pattern or of a trend. So on Friday, we actually got some good news for spot, saying that they're going to do a buyback for shares. Usually when that happens, that type of news that same day, we end up seeing a nice trend to the top side. And that's exactly what happened with spot on Friday. And that's what I pointed out. So we weren't so much just trading something so technical, but we were trading something that was fundamental based on the catalyst that it had. Therefore, I was able to enter this position with confidence and take it on that. On top of that, we did have a trend change here on the 4 hour time frame, and we hit this nice resistance at this like 117, which was our first target, and it actually hit. I didn't expect it to drive that much, but also being aware that when you have a trend change, when you have a nice bullish candle and you have good volume and you have a catalyst, you're looking at a confident entry to continue to the top side and potential trends to the, keep on building a staircase pattern to the top. So spot is one of ARK holdings, so that's why I'm looking at ARK, and so is Z. Okay. So for spot, I'm already in this. I'm already green on it. I think it closed green on the position. We entered around like 215. I think it was right below 215. At 213, I think we entered. So we're up a few dollars on this position. So I'm going to look for the continuation on spot. I don't know what it's going to look like pre-market, but definitely I wanted to hold 50% of its gains. Okay. So let's look at this. Let's just move it up a little higher. 214. Okay. So we want 214 and 215 to become a dip buy area for this to continue to the top. If this thing is going to gap and go, I don't know what it's going to look like in the morning. Like I said, we'll definitely adjust those levels. Over 217, I am still bullish. Okay. Over 217, I'm automatically looking for the 220 psychological. And then I'm looking for 221.60. I'm looking for this top over here of 226 and 225. If this thing hits in 1 or 2 days, I'm definitely going to start taking profit and enter a different position. And then start looking for this 230 to 231 and 233.50. So the top of this zone, okay? So that's what I'm going to look for spot. I'm going to look for a nice reversal. I'm going to look for that catalyst to become something positive and allow this to continue up on a staircase pattern. Okay, that's what I'm waiting for spot. For Z, we're almost on a similar page as spot. The only difference is we have not broken this downtrend. I actually entered around 95. Let me just show you. right here. This is where I entered. It almost looks like I bought the top. The only reason why I bought this was because I saw some like good catalyst. Again, I saw like something going on with Bitcoin and the real estate stuff. But look at this aggressive volume right here. I don't know what this was from, but whatever it was from, it was basically telling me that somebody with big money was interested in this position, giving me the me being comfortable to take this long for the next swing play. So I am green on this. I am in a few contracts, and I'm going to take this to the top side. So let's look at some levels on the 1 hour, 4 hour. This still yet, like I said, it has not broken this downtrend. So most likely the break is going to be up here around this like 97.50 to 98.30. Okay, this is going to be my first target for the next couple of days. I don't want it to go below 95. Like I said, I don't know what it's going to look like at open, but the levels will be adjusted right in the morning. But I am looking for this piece. Once we get up here at this like 99 level, I want to reclaim the 100, and I want to base out in here, okay? And once we can start basing out, I think it can have a little more attention, just because it'll create like a nice little bull flag or a pennant up here, and then continue to the top over 100 and start trending back up. But as of right now, we are still downtrending. It is a high risk play. The spreads are a little wide on this one, and they move differently, same as spot. So be careful. If you don't have a big account, don't trade it. Okay. So we're going to look for these movements on Z. All right. The other one is Disney. I do have a position on it. I did enter a few days ago right here around this 175. Yeah, 170. Yeah, 175. I entered here, and it actually came down for the next 2 days, but now it looks like it's coming back. So we're gonna look for Disney to break 176. Okay, over 176, I'm gonna start going long. 178, 180, 182, 184, 185, and then I'm gonna try to take it all the way up, just because it's in this nice range here, and it's showing a lot of demand. Okay, so let me show you. Here's your piece. Okay, this is the piece where we still continued. So giving you guys an idea of where we started bouncing, and this is the nice little demand that you have here. So potentially we're going to try to head up in this top level. So here you go. See that? So you can still play the ranges, guys. So I ended up loading up right here, just the light position, and definitely going to enter a few more. Unless this thing drops down and fails, then I'll potentially get out. But as of right now, I'm still in the position. I got some time on my contracts, and I'm allow this to keep on playing out. So we're just gonna follow and build on Disney until we can break like the 180 level and start trending back up. So for right now, it's just a range trade. Here's this other one, V. I think V is a good one. Has a nice setup on the 4-hour time frame, and this is what I see: a nice little trend line to the bottom, and this nice little squeeze right here. Okay, I know it's just 2 days, but it stayed inside on Friday, which it didn't cause a lot of movement to the top or the bottom, which I like. I like when they consolidate right below a trend line, because it's either going to have a strong pop to the top or a strong drop to the bottom, and we'll definitely be ready for most. So this is just a pattern play. You can definitely look to swing this if we break to the top side. So the top side will be anything over 235 will swing, with your first target of being 237, 238, 238.40, 239, and then look for 240, and then the top around 242. Okay, so only over that 235 level we can swing. But for right now, it's just going to be either a pop or a drop aggressively. Okay, and the entry for this one, 232 long or 230.50 short. Okay, like again, like I said, if it's going to pop, we'll let it pop and get in for that that momentum trade. That's what I'm shooting for V. Okay, it's a pattern play. It's not something else that you can trail or anything, but definitely just grab the momentum, go heavy on some weekly contracts once we break above, and let it ride. And then same thing to the downside, let it ride, and make sure the market sentiment is on your side as well. And if you want to watch some sentiment with V, go take a look at the ticker MA. Okay, that's MA. Okay, Snap is the other one for the list. It has a nice range. It's very simple, actually. Over that 73, you want to go long. the target's going to be around 75 and then the top of 78. Snap had a lot of flow the past few times that we've been in this level, and I've been watching it. So I've been having my alerts here at 73, okay? And I don't want to miss it. I want to grab that pop to the top. But also if it breaks to 70, we're definitely going to come down just based on this 4-hour time frame. It has a nice base here. So you guys know these bases is what I look for. So far it's a drop base, and it can definitely pop or drop. So it's a drop base rally or a drop base drop, okay? And you guys have seen these videos before, so make sure you go watch them. For Microsoft, not really going on the watch list, but just remind you guys that out of the whole tech sector, Microsoft is the monster. So psychologically speaking, you want to look for 305, 310, 315, and 320. This most likely will continue to the top side. So have fun with Microsoft, guys. Tesla's the other one since I'm watching ARK. Very easy play here. You just want to draw that trend line on here, and then the trend line here, which creates a nice little pennant. You can enter maybe an early entry, use these candle bodies here around the 684, okay, and then take it long 689. But if it breaks here to 689, just make sure you take this long, just based on this pattern play, guys. That's it. Nothing too crazy. You guys all watch Tesla, so there's nothing else that I can tell you. But definitely look for that 700, and then continue to back up over that 705. All right, so nothing crazy. I'm just watching Tesla because I'm watching ARK, Spot, and Z, and they're all kind of in the same ETF holdings. BA, what I wanted to point out for you guys on BA is the weekly time frame. It's right here at a trend line support. So no matter how you look at this, no matter how you want to trade this, you can definitely look for this trend line play. Remember that if we're looking at BA, there's tons of people from here all the way to New York and different places as well that are looking at the same chart, and they're looking at the same trend line, and they're looking to play the same trend line. So remember that, guys, okay? And that's all I really want to point out on BA. You guys can go do some due diligence on that and enjoy those, enjoy that. Next one is BAC. What I'm looking for is for the break of this trend line. Like I said earlier, anybody who has a trend line out there is going to have the same thing. So over that 40, what is this? 40, 40, and 40, 50, this will be your entry. It will be the break of trend and continue to the top side. And then, of course, the first target, 41.30, 41.55, and then the top 42. All right. So basically, whenever you have a trend line like this, you want to go look for the next areas where we rejected from. And that's what you want to look for, okay? Those are your targets. Now I have two tickers that I will focus on this week. And this one again, you zoom out on the 4-hour. Sorry, let's go on the weekly. Let me show you. Here's your weekly support. Here's your breakout right here where we gapped up. Here's your support. Here's your support again. And look where we're at again. We're at that support, a nice red candle into that demand. And let's see if we can build an accumulation phase, okay? So I will make another video on TSM and talk about the accumulation, but this is what I'm gonna look for. I'm gonna look for sideways movement to do this. And I'm gonna show you an example right now. I'm gonna look for the sideways movement to happen here and then to break that trend line that can cause a nice pop. So this can happen in the next 3 days. If anything, it'll just crack all the way to the downside and then create more of a sell-off. But I'm looking for this to just build a demand here and hold for TSM, okay? So that's all I'm looking for TSM. You guys can go take a look at it, and hopefully it creates a pattern within the week where I can post it and we can take a good trade on TSM. Here's MU. This is what I'm talking about. On the weekly time frame, we're right there at the bottom of support, okay? We're in this base. This is the base that we're at, okay? I went a little further, but look at the bottom now. We have a nice red candle into the bottom of support. That is the most amazing setup that you can ever find, because now what's happening is called accumulation phase. The accumulation phase is this, okay? That's your accumulation phase. That's a drop base. when a stock does this, it creates a demand. Okay, this is the level where investors try to come in and start loading up on shares. Okay, when things slow down, when volume dies down, this is what you want to look for: a nice base at a demand level. This is what's going to create this stock to start trending up or to continue to trend to the downside, whichever one comes first. Okay, so make sure you guys keep eyes on MU. This can do something like this. Okay, I'm looking for a nice staircase pattern to the top where you can trade it all the way back up, or have a nice momentum move that'll just go like this and then automatically come back inside. Whichever one comes first. Like I said, if it wants to drop, let it have the aggressive move and break that demand, and then just snap back inside for that retest. As long as it can stay in between that 69 and that 71, 71.30, just to be safer, we can definitely create a longer range and stay within. But again, I am looking for that break of the range. That's all I'm looking for. I'm looking for this demand to hold in the next few weeks. If it wants to stay range for the next few weeks, or maybe just this week alone, who knows? But we're definitely going to be patient. We're going to wait for TSM to build the same thing that MU is building, okay? And I'll for sure make another video on this, but that's what I want to show you guys, right? So that's going to be the weekly watch list, guys. Make sure you guys take notes and set those alerts. And once you enter, make sure that you trail your position. You know, don't just take it lightly. Trail it. Make sure that it continues to go. If you're on the 5 and you enter on the 5, switch to the 15 and trail it that way. If you're on the 15, go to the 30 and trail it that way, as long as it continues to stay green. Once you go on the 30, go on the 1 hour. Once you go on the 1 hour, then you're safer on the 4 hour and you're just letting it ride, okay? So weekly watch list, just so you guys know that I'm focused on, is ARK, Spot, Z, because we're in those swings, Spot, Z, and Disney. V is going to be a momentum trade. Snap will be on the watch list. And BAC, TSM, and MU are going to be on the watch list, all right? So hopefully you guys enjoy this watch list. Please make sure you set those alerts. Do your own due diligence. Make sure you guys pull the trigger once those alerts hit. You know, don't wait for anybody to tell you when to enter. Just take these trades and understand how it's moving and why it's moving. You guys have seen plenty of these videos where I highly give you guys a good setup that has potential to trend change and continue to the top side or to the downside, whichever one may come first. So up to you to stick to that watch list. If you don't have anything else to trade, come back and, you know, take a look at what we talked about and see where the charts are at. So let the charts do the talking and be patient. So yeah, I'll leave you guys with that. Hopefully this helps you. Hopefully you guys are green by the end of the week. And yeah, good luck, guys. I'll see you guys in the chats.